everybody. As you know, we are in the process of giving Kinsley a big girl room, so I just wanted to show you the before. So come on in. I'm going to take you through sort of my process and how I go about planning and designing and picking things out. Just in like 5 quick steps if it might be helpful for you if you're in a similar stage of life with your little one right now. So most of everything you see here, except for the dresser, which we did just get for her big girl room, we've had for her since we were in this tiny little apartment in Chicago in her infant nursery. And kind of made it work in our house here in Knoxville. But this is a really different room than we had there. We had really low ceilings and it was really dark and it was really small and we had hardwood floors, and so everything's kind of different here. And so I'm really excited to transform this space and kind of redo it. We never really finished this space for her when we moved in with draperies or much because we knew that someday when we did do her big girl room, we were going to want it all to kind of mesh and go together, so we just kind of waited. Mom, that's probably the most bittersweet is the rocker because we read bedtime stories. I put her to sleep every night, and I just have so many sweet memories of her. And this year I came and look at it. It's gonna stay, basically. I'm gonna scoot it over and it's gonna stay. But we are getting her some new furniture, obviously, a bed and 2 matching nightstands. I really love the idea and look of doing things in a room that have symmetry. So if you have a wall like we do with symmetrical windows on both sides, or even just a plain wall with no windows, I think it can be a really pretty look to do matching nightstands, matching lamps on both sides, and then you can do something really cool with the bed or in between. I like to start with looking on Pinterest or online and getting ideas for things that really like speak to me or inspire me, with kind of creating a mood board and just getting ideas of what I like. And then the next thing I do is set a budget, because it's really easy to get carried away with fancy stuff and expensive things. We all can do it. But you have to have a budget in mind for what makes sense for you, what makes sense for the room. And so that's the next step I do, keep myself in line. And then the third thing I do is measure the room. So I usually write it down on like graph paper or I draw it out. And then what I honestly do is I come in with masking tape or painter's tape and I tape off the dimensions of furniture I'm looking at or sizes of rugs and kind of see how things would lay out in the space, just to make sure that it would all work and fit well in there. Want the space to completely feel transformed, or if you have a hardwood floor, you might want a bigger rug. If you want a lot of color to be added. Whereas in this room, I kind of just want an accent piece. So I'm probably gonna do like a 6x9, whereas if you're in a room, like I said, you want a full floor covering, you might want to do more of like a 9x12. We never bought drapes for in here. We knew we were gonna be redoing her room as she got older, and we kind of wanted to wait because that's kind of an investment. And we wanted to make sure that they matched whatever it is we decided to pick out for her big girl room. So I'm so excited to finally hang drapes in here. It's been a long time coming. So that's like one of the big things for us, that not only is like a practical thing, because it's like room darkening and hopefully will help her like sleep, you know, a little bit better. She's a good sleeper now, thank you, Jesus. But anyways, it's just gonna give such a nice, full, finished look to the room. For drapes, I love to do. The next thing that I do once I measure is like obviously make sure the furniture is going to fit, and then start to pick out the bedding. So like all the fun stuff. You get to pick out the comforter and the drapes and the rug and the pillows to make sure it's all going to like work and match. And that stuff really just got to like speak to you. You got to find things you love. I also try to bring Kinsley in on this process and show her ideas of things and ask her what she may like. And so she's kind of, you know, obviously she just turned 3, so she has a different opinion one day, sometimes from the next. But we are going to try to pick out something that's going to be playful for her, but also timeless. When you're investing in furniture, it's something you obviously want to have grow with them for a while. You don't want to be replacing furniture in 5 years if you don't have to be. So my whole idea behind the furniture we've picked picked out for her space, like I said, is for it to be timeless but yet youthful. So I think you can really give it a youthful feel with those other accent pieces you pick, the rug and the bedding. The tassels or pom-poms or the texture usually make it feel a little more fun and playful than just like a plain satin, you know, hotel feeling bedspread. I think is really important in this space, and you've heard me say this before, is lighting. And so you can do lighting a few different ways. Like if you really want to invest in it and have an electrician come, you can obviously do like sconces or things on the wall. Or maybe your husband knows how to do that. So anyways, lighting for me, I have had this light fixture of hers since we live in Chicago. It's just a very inexpensive world market light fixture. I'm probably gonna lower it a bit, but I love the reflection it makes on the ceiling. It works with pretty much anything right now that I'm gonna pick for her. And then for the lamps and other things in the room, you kind of want to do them in threes. So you don't want to have like a light here and a light here necessarily. You want to kind of spread them out and kind of fill in those holes in the room. I'm not necessarily going to keep all of these lights where they are right now, but I do plan to do 2 lamps on matching nightstands. So there'll be 1, 2, and leaving 1 over here on the dresser. So those will be the 3 kind of in the, to fill in the holes. One other thing in terms of your accent wall, if you can do an accent wall, I really think it can make a big difference. I don't think you need to do the whole room. I really don't recommend necessarily leaving all your walls brown except for then painting 1 pink. I think you should do, if you're gonna do an accent wall, either do it like a lighter, like a white shiplap or a tone-on-tone, darker of the same color you have on the other walls, or even like those adhesives, like I said. Those can make a big impact for not a lot of money. So I think that's a great way to add drama to the space, again, along with like lighting and drapes and some fun accents, just to make the space really personal and something that they're going to
Pretty. Oh my gosh.
Ready to go see your big girl room for the first time? Let's go see it.
What do you think?
I love it.
You do? You gonna have a tea party with me? I'm so happy. You are so welcome, baby.
Hey guys, I just wanted to jump back on real quick and thank you all for following along on this process. It has been a labor of love. I just wanted to be very real about everything we kind of went through. Not everything goes as planned or went as planned for us. I think with any project, it's so important to keep that in mind. You're gonna have things that come that aren't necessarily the right color or that don't work, and lots of returns and trial and error, and it's just kind of all part of the process to get it perfect and the way you love it and want it to be. We had so many people that helped us along the way. By no means did I do this all myself. My mom, who is like seriously has the most natural eye for design I've ever seen. Anything I know in my amateur skills about decorating and things like that, I get from her. She's amazing. And not just that, but the moral support of like me being like, I can't decide. Kinsley obviously was super involved. We wanted her to really feel like this was her space and she owned it and she had input on everything, or most things. Like I would narrow it down, give her choices. And so she was just, she had the best time. So that was really fun to watch. My husband, obviously, for like putting everything together and carrying things up and down the stairs and all of that. And then everything from the delivery people to the designers at stores I ordered things from to the people that helped me pick out a mattress after I didn't think I was gonna have to buy one, but then ours was from 1996. The mattress mama turned out to be wonderful to us. And our neighbors who would pull things in from our front porch when we were out of town. I mean, it literally took 3 months and took a lot of help from a lot of people. I don't think it necessarily has to take that long, but for us, it was like I kind of ordered things and then they would come and then I might change my mind, or then something you had to wait on. The bed took like 8 or 10 weeks to get here, so that kind of really slowed things down. But for me, I also kind of was at a standstill with like, do I want an all pink rug? Then if I want an all pink rug, I don't want a pink bedspread. So like kind of balancing everything. And it wasn't honestly for me until this rug came and I got it in this space and saw it that I was like, yes, now I know what I'm going to do everywhere else. I know what I'm going to do for the drapes. I know what I want for the bedspread. So sometimes you just have to find that one piece you love and that speaks to you and then just run with it. What else? There's a lot of things in here that we wanted to have be timeless and classic and that we invested in, but there's also things in here that are literally like the drapery rods I got off Amazon. There was no point in spending a ton of money on drapery rods. The lamps are like, look almost identical to the ones on Restoration Harbor, but they're from Home Goods. And then I got the shades that came out of them were a little too white. I like them a little warmer, from At Home. And so it's just the details and it's a labor of love and trying to find the right things for the right places. But it all did finally come together. And I would honestly be happy to answer any questions if I can help any of you guys going through this process. It was a big ordeal, and I even learned things, and I feel like I've done this 100 times before. Every time we move, I feel like I do this. But this, without any construction or anything going on, still is a big job. So if there is anything I can answer at all, then please just message me, and I would be happy to try and help you. And thanks again.